Mm. Hello, everybody. Figured I would come on a little bit um, because I've been absent for a little bit, for a few days. I did a very short musical Christmas live stream on Christmas, but otherwise, I haven't been around. So my mother is messaging me, so sorry for that. Got a hair in my eye. I can feel it, but I can't find it. I mean, it's not in my eye, it's kind of on my, I can feel it when I blink, but I can't find it to get rid of it. Who's with me? Got a little bit of a cold going on, I think. I'm not going to immediately assume it's the Rona because, first off, I've already had it. And typically, I guess, um, they don't know, they don't know if you can. I mean, I'm assuming you can get it again, but not so soon after you've had it because you do have antibodies now. Um, which, plasma centers are paying more for your plasma if you've had the Rona because it can help people who have it. So I do have the antibodies, at least for a little while, and then I'll probably be prone to catching it again, but whatever. But I think right now it's just like a little bit of a cold. I feel fine. I'm just a little sniffly. Something's going on. I didn't do it. They're going to come right by the house. Let's see. It's an ambulance. Okay. Hopefully everybody's okay. Who's with me? I have awesome news about the bunny Sylvester. Um, I know that one of my last live streams I ranted and raved about um, people who don't properly take care of the animals they bring in, and he was the topic of that because he was so skinny. But I've got awesome news for you about him. And yeah, I just want to see if anyone else is going to come in. Mm. Banner down here. There we go. Anybody gonna join me? This is why they say your eyebrows are sisters and not twins because they are not matching. Hey, Gemma, how you doing? I didn't get a chance to answer your question about my Christmas was quiet too. It was pretty quiet too. Um, Kids kind of scattered. My 18-year-old and 23-year-old scattered. So for much of the day, it was me and my husband. Um, and yeah, that was okay. My husband and I went to go and see a movie together. That's how we spent our Christmas. The cat is here. Say hello. She's like not impressed. Last night after work, we had our staff Christmas party, which was kind of really quiet. Not everybody was there, but that's all right. We just kind of did it at the store. Last year we had gone to a restaurant, but this time, since, things are a little different this year, we just stayed at work and, you know, had some takeout pizza and some snacks and did our gift exchange and called it a night. Yeah, restrictions do make a difference. Hey, MT, how you guys doing? You and your wife and a little bit of a cold going on, I think, just a little sniffly, and it's all good though because I feel fine. I can handle sniffles. Cat, don't stick your tail in my coffee. I don't want it. No, I don't. Yeah, I understand that, Gemma. I haven't seen my family in Canada at all. They were supposed, usually what happens is they visit in the spring in May, and then we go there in the summer in August, and neither of those happened. Um, the border to Canada is closed, so I can't go and see them unless I agree to quarantine for or self-isolate for 14 days, which typically is my entire vacation. So we wouldn't be able to do anything or go anywhere or whatever. We'd be stuck in the house. So, you know, we just thought, you know what, we're safer. We just video chat and stuff like that. So this is the first year since 1999 that I haven't seen my family. Hey, David. So it was kind of rough this year, not being able to see my parents, not being able to see my sister and my niece and nephew, you know. Yeah, First year that I couldn't do it. Nana, how are you doing? I know it's been a rough few days for a lot of people in a lot of ways, losses and my my store manager at work, her house was broken into night before last. It was a house she just bought, um, and she was renovating it, with friends and herself, laying floors, doing other things, cabinets, all of that kind of thing. And she wasn't staying the night at the house because there wasn't a lot there, but they kicked in the doors, so the doors were damaged. She has a big TV that's kind of embedded in the wall. It's like built into the wall, and they tried to take that, but they couldn't manage it. But all of their power tools that they were using to renovate the house were stolen. Um, some actually sentimental things. She said her Her leather bench, which had storage in it, she had yearbooks and things like that in there, that's gone. So her and her cousin, because her cousin had some things there too, they're both devastated. Um, it's so many things going on. My coworker's grandmother passed away yesterday from the virus. Um, so many things are going on, and it's crazy. One of my rats passed away the other day. Um, yeah, just a lot of emotions going on. A lot of emotions going on for a lot of different things. Yeah, it's cold here too. But the funny thing is my heat in my house, I have a boiler and it's an old boiler and it's not acting right. So the main floor is okay. I mean, it gets warm down there, warmer than we want it, but it's more comfortable down there than it is upstairs. And I'm upstairs and it's like sweltering. I have windows open. It's cold outside, but I have windows open so that we don't have heat stroke in here. It's crazy. Um, we're trying to regulate the temperature and it's not working. It's like the boiler doesn't want to shut off and the heat is just being forced upstairs and we're dying. And so I've got windows open and I had to do the same thing in the animal room because I don't need my animals dying of heat stroke either. But ugh. So but good news with Sylvester, the rabbit that I took in 2 weeks ago. Um, the rabbit that I took in 2 weeks ago that was emaciated has now, I've had him for 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today. He has gained an entire pound. He is a pound heavier than when I brought him home, all because I fed him every day. And right now he's throwing his food bowl around to make a mess. But yeah, I just fed him every day. Yes, I gave him some extra protein hay. I've given him some multivitamins. I've given him some extra pellets. But he has gained a pound in 2 weeks just for being fed. What are you doing? He's definitely gotten an attitude. He's feisty. He throws his food bowl around, stuff that he never did originally because he was too lethargic to do it. Um, hey, Mr. J. The animals otherwise are doing well. I did lose a rat the other day. She was about a year old. I knew that it was coming. She was sick and losing weight and stuff, but we did lose her the other day. Her name was Lena. The other rats that I was wanting to rehome, I have rehomed. They got rehomed Christmas Eve. So now we only have a total of 9 rats in the house. Now that Lena has passed, we have 9 rats in the house. 4 of them are my son's, 5 of them are mine. And that's all we have. And we're not getting any more. Keep telling myself we're not getting any more. Um, my rescue snake, my ball python, I named her Kina. I don't know if I told you guys that I got a rescue snake. So I have my ball python, Lucille, and then I got another ball python who's probably about a year old. She's a little bigger, and she weighs more. He's throwing his bowl around. Um, Lucille weighs 159 grams, and she's about 5 or 6 months. Kina, who is the new ball python, weighs 214 grams. She's about a year old. And last week, Lucille refused her mouse, and Kina didn't eat either because I just got Kina last week, and you're supposed to wait a week before you feed them. Um, why don't you eat your pellets instead of throwing your bowl around, you goofball? I don't know if you can hear that because the laptop has a noise canceling thing, but he's throwing his bowl around. But Kina and Lucille both ate on Friday, which is good. Um, Kina did bite me yesterday, which wasn't that. Basically, it's called tagging. She didn't bite and hang on. She just kind of struck out at me. So it just felt like she tapped me. She just did it really quick and let go, and there's not even a mark. It didn't hurt. It just felt like she poked me. There's nothing. So it didn't hurt. I think I startled her when I put my hand in her bin because she can't see very well due to her past with her owner that neglected her. So she can't see very well. Therefore, I think I startled her, and that was her reaction. Let's see. I can't wait to see what you're getting next. I would like to get a chinchilla, but that's going to take some planning and some preparation. For one, chinchillas are expensive. For two, they can't handle temperatures over 78 degrees. They can suffer from heat stroke. And if we have the chinchilla upstairs during the summer, that's dangerous because we don't have central air. We have window air conditioners, and my husband doesn't want to run an air conditioner in a room that we're not in just for animals. So I'm going to have to convince him to let the chinchilla be on the main floor where the AC would be on, maintaining that temperature because we're there. Not to mention a lone chinchilla needs a lot of attention because they're very highly social. So if they don't have another chinchilla to be social with, they need to have your attention a lot, kind of like a parrot. So the chinchilla wouldn't be able to be locked away in another room without that human interaction all the time. Hey, average girl. So I do want a chinchilla. There's a chinchilla at work right now that I absolutely love. She's a brown color. She's a little bit more expensive because of her color. Um, I love her. She's got the sweetest disposition. I'm not ready for a chinchilla right now, but I would love to have her, and I can't. And I love her. I love her to death. Hey, Lewis. Yeah, I would love a chinchilla. They're not good for children because children can be overzealous in their affection, and chinchillas they're very, very delicate. You can't pick them up. You can't pick them up around their sides like you would any other animal because they have very, very thin, delicate ribs, and you can break them. So you have to pick them up basically. You have to hold the base of the tail. There's not a lot of animals you can pick up by the tail. That's frowned upon. But with a chinchilla, that's what you have to do. They have strong tails. So at the base of the tail, right where it attaches to their back, is where you would grip, pick up, and support underneath. So you don't risk cracking those ribs. And once you have them like that, you can put them against your body and you can pet them, but you're always going to have your grip on the base of their tail. Yeah, chinchillas, they're very sought after for their fur coats and things because they have very, very, very dense fur. But they also can't get wet because of that very, very dense fur. They don't dry very quickly, and they can actually freeze to death because they're going to catch that chill because there's going to be a dampness in their hair. So they don't need wet baths. They should never get wet. Um, they take dust baths. So you would just provide like a container with this powder dust or whatever. And they have sensitive respiratory systems. So you want to do this because the dust will like kick up and everything. You have to do it in an open space, open ventilated space, and they'll roll around in it to get clean. So, and they're so super cute. They're so super cute, and they bond very strongly with their owners. Yes, a lot of wild chinchillas, are killed for their coats because they are very, very, very soft. But that's what I would like to have. But that's when I have no rats. I made you know, that stipulation because they need big cages too. And I'm running out of room for big cages. No more big cages. So the cage that the rats are in, that would be where the chinchilla will go when I have no more rats. Um, So it's going to be a little while. I wish I could have the chinchilla that's at work right now because I love her. I love her. I always, whenever I'm working, I'll grab the key and I'll unlock her little thing and I'll just spend time with her, pet her and pick her up and just, oh, I love her. I love her. I think I got a picture of her somewhere, a little video. She doesn't even go in her hide to sleep. Um, she'll just crash out on the like a customer asked me one day if she was dead. I'm like, no, she's sleeping. Like if you look at her, she's breathing. She just lays in the funniest ways and just sleeps. Yep, they just roll around. I do have a video of one of our past chinchillas. We took him into a petter with a bowl of dust and he was rolling around in it. Let me see if I can find it for you. Um, actually, this is the chinchilla that I want. I love her. I love her, love her. She's super sweet. Loves being petted. She's so soft. There's a male on the other side there. She's brown, so she's a little more expensive. I believe she's a little over $300. The other one across the way that is a boy is gray. He's the more standard color and he's under $300. Yes, that's her price right there. Um, and then this is the one that's across the way, the boy, he's just gray. He's a little more vocal. Yes, you want a hedgehog. I I could do that too. I could do that too. Um, but I have a video here of one of our chinchillas that we don't have anymore at work that was taking a dust bath. So and you can see it's the cutest thing when they roll around in it. It is the cutest thing. So let me see. I know it's in here because I saved it just because of how cute it was. Here it is. Here it is. So he's running around, checking everybody out. I love him. Cat is making a mess. There he is. There's his little dust bath. He'll just roll around. Woo! Make a mess. And jump out, make little dusty footprints on the floor. He was such a sweetheart. I loved him. It's the first time I had taken a chinchilla out of like into the petter to run around and hang out with us. And he was so sweet. I love him. So yeah, that's what I would like to have. But yeah, they're just so, and they're very social, so it's better to have two, but because they're so expensive, I was like, if I was going to have two, I'd have to do it at two different times because I can't afford 300 or like $300 twice. I can't afford to spend $600 on two chinchillas. So I'd have to do one and then do another one. But while you have just the one, you have to spend a lot of time with it. And in doing that, they will completely bond with you. So it basically would be like having a parrot. You have to spend time with it on a daily basis so they don't get lonely. And then they love to climb. So the cage that the rats are in or the cage that the parrot is a perfect cage as long as it's got platforms and whatever. It's a perfect cage for a chinchilla. They need a big wheel because they love exercise and they'll run on a wheel. But yeah, they're so super soft. If you ever go into a pet store, if they allow you to touch a chinchilla, do it. Do it. Because you have not felt soft fur until you have felt a chinchilla. I kid you not. Easy Life Tricks. Hello, welcome. This is true. This is true. And then, oh, Nana, you asked about the rest of the animals, how the Harry is still going. He is considered elderly at this point, so honestly, I could lose him anytime from old age. Um, he is a year old, and hairless hamsters only have half the lifespan a regular hamster has. So a regular hamster is 2 to 3 years, a hairless is 1 to 2. So he's at that point where he can go anytime from old age, but he is still going. Um, Unfortunately, my newest one, Calvin, had passed away a few days ago. Um, and it was because no, my son feels horrible because it was basically I was away, I was house sitting and puppy sitting. So I wasn't here, and I had my son feeding the animals for me. And Calvin was in my closet because his bin didn't have a lid. And I needed to keep him safe from the cats. So he was in the closet, and in the closet is really easy to forget about him. And that's what happened. My son forgot he was there, even though, like I had said, make sure you don't forget about Calvin. He did. And when I went to feed him when I came back, I noticed he was completely out of water, which his water bottle should last for him for a few days because it's big. His water bottle was empty. I knew he wasn't going to have any food because they eat their food through the night and then they need it again the next day. But he was out of water. So I think dehydration probably was probably the culprit because it's so warm in the house. And they eat and drink a lot to maintain their body temperature because they're hairless. So, yeah, when I went to feed him after I'd come back from my house sitting and stuff, he was gone. And my son feels terrible. I was like, that was who I was going to breed with my hamster girls, but now I'll have to find another hairless unless I just give up on the idea of breeding them. Which, I can do. I can give up on the idea, but I wanted to breed the girls with a hairless so I can breed hairless hamsters, and corporate was going to buy them from me. But now I'll have time. The girls aren't old enough yet anyway. They're only couple months old, almost 3 months old, I guess now. Yeah, October to November, November, December, December to January. So January 1st, they'll be 3 months. Um, so they're still technically not old enough to be good parents. So I have time to find another hairless if necessary. It's not going to be through my work because it'll be months probably before we get another one in. Let's see. He said, "Do you know that Nana's Cooking Craft Corner is a kind of?" Yes, of course I know this. Of course I know this. Hey, Canadian Scrapper. I'm sorry I was talking so much. I missed you. Um, but yeah, and then the house sitting thing is another story in itself. I had thought it went well. Apparently these people they have no idea what it's like to take care of a puppy. They don't understand puppies because they claimed that I didn't take care of him, that that he's now having accidents, that his behavior has changed, he's untrained, whatever. And they reported me and whatever. So I ended up talking to the company about it. And I was like, look, I know puppies. These are new puppy owners that clearly don't understand that puppies' behavior changes with changes in their routines and their environments and new people and everything. This all affects a new puppy. And they've chalked up their puppy's change in behavior to my lack of caring for him rather than you just got a new puppy a week before you went on vacation. You left during his settling in period. I was there, so I'm a new person, new routine, like trying to stick to his routine, but I had to bring him to work with me to keep him on his feeding schedule, which was a new environment. And then they came back and I left. All of these are changes for a new puppy who's still trying to settle in. They'd never heard him bark. Now he's barking. I heard him bark. I was like, their behavior is going to change when they start settling in more, when they feel more comfortable to be a puppy, they're going to be a puppy and they're going to bark. So rather than chalking that up to he's getting more comfortable, he's settling in. There were changes in his routines and his environment, so that's going to create some setbacks in his training, things like that. Because he's only 3 months old, they blamed me. So I had to go through this big thing with the company to explain. And I said, all in all, they probably shouldn't have got a puppy right before they went on vacation and expected that things would go this smoothly with their puppy and then blame me for it. And they've tarnished now. They gave me a terrible review. And now my chances of getting any more house sitting, puppy sitting, or whatever is going to be slim to none because they've trashed my reputation for this company for potential clients. So I was like, this isn't okay for me. Um, yes, I do still want to do the hairless hamsters. So I'll just have to um track down another one that can breed with the girls. That's what I will have to do. Because right now I'm not going to breed Harry anymore. He's old. It's not fair. He needs to breed Tage now. Exactly. And they said he's having accidents now and whatever. Well, he's had so many changes in his life. It is a well-known fact. Even for an adult dog, if you upset their routine, their behavior is going to change. They get stressed, they get scared, they're unsure. You change things for them, think, setbacks happen. And rather than understanding that as the puppy owner, they've blamed me for it. So, exactly. And I told the company, I said, I work with puppies almost on a daily basis at my job. I even see them evolve in their behavior. When they first come to us, how shy they are, they're quiet, they're scared, they're shaking. And after a while, they're barking, they're energetic, they come out of their shell. This isn't because they're not cared for, it's because they're becoming more comfortable with their surroundings and the people they're with. So I was like, I deal with puppies on a daily basis and see the changes in their behavior. If these people weren't prepared for that, they can't just blame me for that. And, wow. I was so like, they totally trashed my reputation on this, like for potential clients to hire me. So I was just, and then they wanted to know if I wanted to give them a partial or full refund so that it smooths things over with them. I said no, because I did everything correctly. And while a refund, partial or full, will make her happy, she's already trashed my reputation. So it doesn't help me any, you know. I'm not, that review is there. And even if it gets to come down, it's already been there for people to read. you know, why should she get to feel better for not being an experienced puppy owner and not understanding how puppies work and me do the work and have to get nothing out of it plus a bad reputation? Not going to happen. And everybody, I talked to people at work. I said, knowing what you know of me, you've worked with me, knowing what you know of me, do I know puppies? Aside from other animals, of course. Do I know puppies? They're like, yeah, that's why I'm a kennel tech. To be a kennel tech, you have to understand puppies and know how to take care of puppies. You can't work in the kennel and not know how to take care of them. Yes, that was the dog that I sat for. Yep. And then they said that there were pee spots on the carpet and that I'm lying because they said he was unsupervised on the carpet and she said he wasn't and she's lying. I wasn't lying. He was never unsupervised on the carpet. I don't know. Maybe it was on their watch. I don't know. I did not unsupervise him while he was loose on the carpet. He did not have any accidents on the carpet with me there. Because I can't explain how that happened, I'm lying. I don't know. So what are they planning? Oh, I don't I don't know. I'm sure that they're going to just try and retrain him or whatever. Like, don't change his routine. Like, why did you get a new puppy a week before you went away for 5 days? During the time that this puppy needs to settle in, you left. I came in, so it's a new person, which he liked me, but it's still a change. And then no matter they knew that there were 2 days that I was going to be there that I had to work. They knew I was going to bring him to work with me so he didn't miss a feeding. Because otherwise, if I left him home, they'd never left him alone for more than 3 hours at a time. If I left him home, he'd be there for more than 3 hours and he'd miss a feeding. So I chose, and they knew he was coming to work with me so he wouldn't miss a feeding and wouldn't be alone for more than 3 hours. But in doing that, there was still a change for him because he was in a new environment. So no matter what, there was going to be a change for him, and he's going to react to it. I mean, come on. So, yeah, I don't know. And the company asked me, knowing what you know now, or would you change anything? What lessons have you learned? I said, would I change anything? Knowing what I know now of these people, I wouldn't have accepted the booking. I wouldn't have taken the job, knowing what I know now. I said, when it comes to, um, would I have done anything differently with the dog? No, no. He's a baby. Babies are going to have some bad reactions sometimes, even children, and the changes in their environment will have setbacks. So I no, I wouldn't do anything differently. I did what I could with the situation I was presented with. Yeah, I'm not gonna, well, she claims in her review she would never hire me again, and that's fine because I'll never take the job again if she were to want to hire me again. But my concern now is, am I going to get another house sitting puppy sit? Like, I've had I've had people have me come in to let their dogs out, play with their dogs, feed their dogs and cats. I've had bookings like that before, but it was never overnighters. And I've got good reviews from all of that. Um, this was the first house sitting overnighter, which was five days, 4 nights. Um, but I'm wondering now with that review up there, will I ever get another one? That's the thing. Exactly. I mean, maybe a good opportunity for a puppy came up, but weigh your options. Do you want the puppy more than you want the vacation, or do you want the vacation more than you want the puppy? Doing both, I mean, sure, you can do both, but you can't expect that it's going to be smooth sailing with that puppy as a result because there's way too many changes in their life. They are very impressionable at that age. That is their critical learning period when they're babies. The first 6 months is their critical time, and a lot of changes happen for them, and you know you can't expect there to never be a hiccup. We tell people at work all the time, customers that are wanting to buy a puppy, give them time to settle in. I can even say that with small animals. When people are buying a hamster, so bring it home, set it up, leave it alone for a week. Don't go in there trying to pick it up. Leave it alone for a week. It's getting used to a new environment, new smells, new setup. Leave it alone. Then start spending time with it and go slowly. Even with small animals, not just dogs. Let them settle in. And then people with dogs, they'll get the puppy and then 3 days later they're returning them. It didn't work out. Well, you haven't given this puppy time to settle in. Come on. So I feel great, Barry. I have a little bit of a cold, I think, but I feel fine. I'm just sniffly. Um, could be allergies too. Who knows? Um, but I feel fine otherwise. I still get winded every once in a while, but that's going to take time. from the virus, that's just going to take time for my lungs to heal. There's going to be scarring. So scarring can make a difference, and it's just going to take some time. When my family first got our Shih Tzu, he was getting used to his surroundings and he came in my room and peed on the floor, but now he's comfortable. Yeah. And my Shih Tzu, like even Brinley, my American Bulldog, has had setbacks. She was potty trained. She was potty trained. She was asking to go out. She would go outside. She wouldn't have accidents in the house. And then something happened to upset her routine, and she was back to even as an adult. She was over a year old, back. And sometimes all it is we went on vacation and she was staying with somebody else and then came back to the house. And some dogs are more sensitive than others, even if they're adults. They're upset in their routine can change how, they'll have some setbacks and then they got to relearn it. It's not abnormal. Yes, dogs live by routine. They can handle small adjustments to it, but when you do a drastic change, it's a harder. Exactly. Like even something as simple as you already have a dog and you bring a new dog in. That is very upsetting to an existing dog. The routine changes. They're no longer the center of attention. Yeah. Yeah. See, like these people clearly don't understand puppies. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're doing like they had a list of things written out, things that they were working on with him for training. They're not bad puppy owners. They're not. They're doing a good job with him. They just don't understand puppy behavior and how it can change. They're doing a good job taking care of him on that front. But when it comes to upsetting routines and not expecting that his behavior is going to change from upsetting a routine, that's what they're not understanding. So, yeah, and then all this occurred. I got the, she was, the client was messaging me Christmas Day. So, Christmas Day, I was like, because it was Christmas Eve when the booking was finished. So Christmas Day, all of this stuff came up. And then the day after Christmas, I spent emailing the company about my side of the situation. So it was an upsetting time for me. And that review is still up. So yeah. Yeah. Anybody who's not prepared for setbacks with puppy training and all of that, and heaven forbid the puppy barks, you shouldn't own a dog if you don't expect there to be setbacks and some bad behavior that they exhibit on occasion. They're not perfect angels. They're learning. They don't speak our language. We need to understand that there are going to be setbacks with them. No, scarring from breathing. That virus, Barry, affects your lungs. And a lot of people will have breathing issues with it. It can cause coughing, but a lot of people have breathing issues with that. Like that's why I said like shortness of breath, that's a lung thing. And when the lungs are damaged, scarring can occur. And then e- even even if you're healthy, there could still be adverse effects to your lungs. Yeah. And I feel like right now that's pretty much what happened. We still have a lot of dogs at work, but we were wiped clean from like we got new animals Wednesday because normally we'd get them Friday, but Friday was Christmas. So we got new animals on Wednesday. We are wiped out. We've got one hamster. We've got no guinea pigs, no bunnies. We've got a hedgehog and two chinchillas. We're going to have no ferrets. We were cleaned out of small animals. And I know that there were people that were getting animals for gifts for their children. And it doesn't work. It doesn't happen for everybody, Barry. I had it worse than my husband did. My husband didn't have any breathing issues. He didn't have any lung issues, but I did. But yeah, so it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Yeah. My pet peeves are getting bunnies for people for Easter, getting animals period for people. Unless the people are buying them for themselves, never buy another person an animal for Christmas. Because like it just because then like I will guarantee you right now, we were wiped out of all these small animals. If I look up our animal shelter in the next few months or whatever, next couple months, they're going to be full of small animals, rabbits, guinea pigs. That's There's going to be small animals in the animal shelter. They either get surrendered to the animal shelter or we have people bringing them back to us, which, happened with Jax, which happened with Sylvester, which happened with Kina, the ball python, which happened to several other animals get returned to us when they no longer want to take care of them or they weren't taking care of them in the first place. Aw. Yeah, it can be stressful. It is stressful. Like just when I was puppy sitting, when I was house sitting and watching this puppy, it it upsets your own routine, let alone upsetting their routine. It upsets your routine. I'm not used to waking up in the middle of the night to a crying puppy. It's like having a newborn baby. I was like, there was one night that, he went to bed at 10, out like a light. 2 o'clock in the morning, he's crying. 4 o'clock in the morning, he's crying. He woke up for the day at 6:30. Like I'm like, sleep, sleep. I don't have a newborn baby. It doesn't just upset the animal's routine, it upsets your own. So you have to be prepared for that to happen. But it's so hot in here. I've got my window. My window doesn't have a screen, so it's only open this much because I opened it a little wider. I don't have to worry about bugs coming in at least. But I opened it a little bit wider, and then my cat sat on there and was like looking out. I'm like, my cat's gonna topple out of the window. So I've closed it again so that it's just a little bit, so that the cats can't fall out the window. Because we're on the second floor, and I don't need them falling to their death. So the windows propped open like that much to bring in some cool air in here because I'm sweltering. Yeah, it sounds like it. It does sound like it. So, yeah, I I just don't understand it. So, I think review would be better from somebody who already understands how animals work, to understand that when they come back and if the behavior has changed at all, it's not because they weren't taken care of, it's because the routine was different. And that they're not used to that. So they're going to respond sometimes negatively to that change. Yeah, it's not working properly. We have a boiler and it's old. Um, and for some reason, even though it's more comfortable downstairs, the heat is being forced up here and it's just really hot upstairs. So really hot upstairs. And it hadn't, there was a 1 year it had done that. And then last year it was great. We didn't have that problem. And earlier this fall, it wasn't doing that. Now all of a sudden, in the last couple of weeks, it's like hot up here again. It's like I don't know if somewhere in the lines there's a blockage. So rather than dispersing the heat evenly in rooms, it is forcing it upstairs. I don't know, but it's hot. So the windows are open up here so we don't die and I don't have heat exhausted animals. My main concerns, rats can handle the heat better, um, but they're still going to get hot. It's the rabbits are my concern. They can get heat stroke easily. So the rabbits are my main concern. I don't want them to get overly hot up here. Luckily, Hera's downstairs, but Jackson and Sylvester are upstairs, and it's hot up here. And I've noticed they're drinking a buttload of water, so that's at least good. What I can do to supplement keeping them cooler, and I've done this in the past, is have water bottles that I stick in the freezer till they're frozen solid, wrap them in a towel and put it in with them, and they can lean up against that like a little portable AC unit to keep them cool. I've done that in the past, and now that it's getting super hot up here, I'll probably do that again. That's normally what I would do in the summer, not in the winter. But since it's so hot up here, I feel like I need to do that for them to help keep them cool. But yeah, that whole house sitting thing was very disappointing. Very disappointing. So, yeah. And like I told the company, I was like, I have people coming to me for advice on a variety of animals, not just dogs. Um, I have a good reputation when it comes to animals, and these people are saying the complete opposite of that. And that, I don't even know. Yes, hey, H7, and yes, we have, and it hasn't helped. So I don't even know. I was like, maybe we should just shut it completely off and just wear sweaters. We just shut it off. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. We would like to just flat out get a new boiler, but boilers are super expensive. Kind of glad that my coffee's cooled down. I don't need to add heat into my body when it's already hot in here. My coffee has cooled down more. If the rabbit has decided that he's bored of throwing his food dish around. And my gerbils are absolutely living it up in their new environment. They love it, love it. I rarely see them. I saw them this morning, one of them, but they come out long enough to eat or run on the wheel a little bit, which is at night. And then during the day, they're completely in their bedding that's like as deep as the tank practically. They're just in there. They Gerbils love to tunnel. They love to make tunnels and all of that. And that's basically, in the wild, that's where they live in little burrows and tunnels. That's what they're doing in here. So you don't really see them very much, but they're living it up, which is what I wanted for them because they weren't able to live it up in the environment that they were in. And people who do adopt them don't know because research has not been had. They'll give them the same kind of setup that a hamster has, and a hamster should have more bedding than a lot of people give them too, but and space. but people will give the same setup to a gerbil that they would give to a hamster. Still too small, shallow bedding, things like that. And gerbils need the deep, deep, deep bedding to make their tunnels. So anyway, what else can we talk about? But yeah, I rehomed 6 of my rats, the last 6 of my rats that I wanted to rehome, which was still hard for me because some of them I loved. Well, I loved all of them. That was a misspeak. I loved all of them, but I had my favorites based on their behavior, their personalities. And so it's always hard to give them up. But at least I have the email address of the people who took them so I can check in and be like, hey, how's it going with them? And they made sure that before they got them, they already had a cage, but they wanted to do an upgrade before they even got them. So they ordered a bigger cage, showed it to me to make sure that it was appropriate, and then we set up the time for them to get them. So they'll be living it up in that cage, just the 6 of them. And now I only have 3 in my big cage. Shiloh's not in there. Eventually she may be able to go in there, but I still worry about her being shoved off a platform and not being able to find food and water because it's such a big space. But for now, I only have 3 in there. So they got a lot more space now. They're not sharing it with zillions of other babies. My Christmas was pretty quiet. No real New Year's. My husband's gonna be having leg surgery. So that morning he'll be going for surgery, so he'll be kind of sore. It'll be a second step surgery. He had surgery on his leg um last week. Um and he's finally starting to walk a little better. um I said, maybe you should get, because he was like, in compensating for the pain in that leg, his other leg is getting sore. And I said, you should probably get yourself, as much as you don't want to, get yourself a cane to help disperse that weight so your other leg isn't getting sore. And he was, he also was like, we have way too many stairs in this house, which you don't notice until you're sore and having to take the stairs. But quiet holidays for us. Quiet holidays. My nose is starting to drip a little. How was everybody else's Christmas, if I didn't ask? I work today, and then I'm off tomorrow. Yippee. Then I work Wednesday, and then I'm off Thursday. Starting the new year off on a sore foot. Yep, exactly. But it was needing to be done. He had bad circulation in that leg, so it was to do a lot with his veins. Um, he has like he just got the stitches out for the 12 little incisions all over the bottom part of his leg on his calf. 12 incisions. So, and then I think with this second one, they're finishing up and they're going to have like 4 more incisions or something, taking care of the veins and stuff so that the flow is better. Because he was having some leg pain just because of that. Like the blood flow wasn't very good, the circulation wasn't very good, so his leg was sore. Um, but it's already looking better. And now he's, walking better now that that's healing, but then he's going to be limping a little bit longer after he gets 4 more incisions. So yeah, that's what basically it was. The incisions were to put the probe in or whatever and laser them. So it was laser surgery done inside, or clipping out any extra that he didn't need or whatever, like the enlarged, anything that was enlarged were clipped and things like that. That's what they were basically doing. But yes, I am. Oh, H7, you weren't here. Sylvester, the rabbit, the one that's skinny. Today is 2 weeks that I've brought him home. He's been with me for 2 weeks. And in that 2 week period, he now has gained a whole pound. He is 3 pounds now. Super exciting. All because I fed him every day. Imagine that. But yes, he is very active now. Got a little attitude. Um, he didn't have the energy to have attitude before. So now he's got a little attitude. He throws, I have to take his food dish. I give him hay at night. I mean, he has hay during the day too. But I take out his food dish at night and just give him the hay because he'll throw his food dish around and keep me awake. So he's doing really good. His bone, I can still feel his skeletal structure, but not as easily. So that's good. He's definitely filling out a little bit more. He's visibly, when you pick him up, you can feel that he's a little heavier. So all good stuff. All good stuff. I love it, love it, love it. Hey, Misha. She's doing her hair. And he does fight me a little bit. Like he's not like Jax loves to be cuddled. Um, Sylvester doesn't care necessarily to be held too much. He loves being petted. He doesn't necessarily want to be like snuggled and restrained, which is normal for a rabbit. Um, Originally, when I first brought him home, I could just reach in and grab him and he wouldn't fight. He wouldn't. Now he'll be like, I don't want you. And he'll try and get away from me while I'm trying to pick him up, which is good to see that he's got the energy now to do that. Yeah, he's a good bunny. But yeah, he throws his food dish around and he was doing it actually earlier during the live stream, but I don't think anybody could hear it because my microphone is background noise canceling. So I don't think anybody could hear it clanging around as he was tossing it. So yeah. But otherwise, he is doing awesome. Everybody is doing awesome. I mean, I did lose, like I said earlier, I lost one of my rats. She was the second rat that I had, I think. Yeah, I think she was the second rat that I got. I got Lexi and then I got Lena. Um, Lena passed away the other day. Super sad for me, but Lexi's still going strong. So we've lost a few rats. Lena passed away a few days ago. Then my sons, Raina and Sagira, passed away, which was devastating to my son. Those were his babies. He still has Riley, who is the second rat that he got. Riley is the same age as, basically the same age as Raina, who was his oldest rat. His Lena was a year old. Lena was about a year old, a little over a year old, not quite a year and a half, but a year and a few months. Lexi is a year and a half and still going. Riley is a year and a half and still going. And then my other ones are all about a year old. Besides Shiloh and Irina are 4 months. Everybody else is about a year old. So it's just they're prone to so many different illnesses, tumors and respiratory illnesses and everything like that. So it just I know that we don't know what it is exactly that took Lena and Raina, but we know that Sagira had a brain tumor. It's very possible that both Raina and Lena had some sort of a tumor or something along those lines. They were losing weight. Um, Clemency, who has the amputation, the half of her tail is amputated, she's got a mammary tumor at this point. It's not bothering her, but it is growing now. It was staying the same size for a while, so we were just going to kind of watch. But now it's growing, and if it keeps doing that, even though it doesn't seem to be bothering her, we can touch it and then she doesn't react. Um, it's if it keeps growing, it's going to affect how she walks because it's right by her hind legs, um, in her private area. So if it gets too big, it's going to affect how she walks. So he's preparing to make an appointment for her to take her to the vet, to see if there's anything that we can do about that. But everybody else is in here. There, he's throwing his food dish around again. You're spilling all the pellets, sir. But yeah. So what happens when you have animals? Things happen. Goodness gracious. I wish you guys could hear, like, he's like throwing this bowl. It's just like a cereal bowl, one of our bowls. And that's why they say if you give, because he's got a water bowl too, but it's a crock bowl. It's heavy. He can't do that. Um, so, um, you have to give them non, if for anything that you don't want to be spilled, non-tippable bowls. How old are they? How old are who? My remaining rats or everybody's pretty much besides Raina, or no, not Raina. Besides Shiloh and Irina are about 4 months. Everybody else is about a year old, a little over a year old. I don't know how old Clemency is because she was full grown when we got her. So her age is in question. We don't know because we did not have her like everybody else we got as babies. She was already full grown when we got her. So her age is unknown. And then Kato and Buddy. Buddy is my son's male. Um, Buddy, Kato, and Clemency are age unknown at this point because they were all full grown. It's easier to gauge their ages when you get them young. And then everybody else that I had that I wanted to rehome have been rehomed. So I only have 5 rats. And my son has 4. And that's it. That is it. I had 6 until Lena passed away. But yep, which I was at work. I was at the other day. I was at work and my son texted me and said, Lena's gone. Lena passed away. I was like, ah. Lena is short for Thumbelina. When I got her, she was tiny. So I named her Thumbelina. And then as she was getting older, I thought Thumbelina doesn't really stick anymore. Like it's not true to her. So we just shortened it to Lena. I did. It was a quiet Christmas and it was a stressful Christmas because I was dealing with a bad review from my house sitting that I did, house sitting and puppy sitting. I got a bad review for, which um, was just because they don't understand how puppies work, and I do. And not only did I have to deal with that review and speaking with this person, this client, she also reported me to the company, and then I had to converse with the company. So, or not converse so much as they sent me an email and I responded to it, my side of things, and my knowledge of how puppies work and how they clearly didn't understand how puppies work. Um, so any changes in his behavior isn't because I didn't take care of him properly. It was because he's had a bunch of changes in his routine, and that's going to affect his behavior. So, yep, that was my Christmas. How was yours? I'm trying to find a comfortable way to sit. I've been sitting cross-legged and now my leg hurts. I need to stretch it out because I could put the laptop on my desk in here, but right now the gerbils are on there, so I don't really have a place to put the laptop now. So sitting on the bed. We had our Yeah, like he was 3 months old and they'd only adopted him a week prior to going on vacation. So all of these changes while he's trying to settle in are going to affect his behavior and create setbacks in his training and things like that. And rather than understand that, they're blaming me. So saying he wasn't taken care of properly. Oh, good. That's good to hear. I hope you enjoy your visit. And my uh Ian spent Christmas with his dad. Um, so he really wasn't here for much of the day. Christmas Day, my stepson is here. Um, although I think he went and hung out with a friend, I think, because he wasn't here for much of the day. Um, and then the rest of my family was in Canada. So on the day after Christmas, we did a video chat. So that was nice. I got to talk with my mom and my dad and my sister, my niece and nephew, my brother-in-law. Um, and we were video chatting for like 2 hours. So that was nice. And then I had to be like, sorry, I gotta go because I gotta go to work. All right, Misha. Yeah. Yeah, Barry. It can be very similar to it, but similar but different. My friend and coworker's grandmother passed away yesterday from it. Um, my ex-father-in-law passed away from it. I've known people. I've There are people that I know that have passed away from it. And then I've known people who didn't have any symptoms at all or, bad symptoms but didn't have to be hospitalized and eventually got over it, me being one of those. Mm. Wow, I've been on for over an hour already. I will have to end this here soon because it's 1 o'clock and I have to work at 3. So I'll have to leave in about an hour and a half. So I'll have to go through the house, make sure all the animals are fed and watered before I head out. But I still got a little time. I've already showered. In fact, my hair's still drying, but for the most part, it's dry, except for what's all weaved in here. Let it finish drying. I have to undo this. But yeah, I haven't eaten anything yet either, but I'll eat before I leave. Yeah, it's still wet in here where it was braided. I'll take care of that. No, I'm not in quarantine anymore. I've been working the last couple weeks. My husband and I are over ours. Um, my son never came down with it at all. If he had, I mean, because during the time that we were sick, he was getting tested and it kept coming up negative. But it's very possible that he had it prior to that and just didn't have any symptoms. And since he didn't get tested, he didn't know. Because otherwise, I would think that being in the house with 2 positive cases, he would have got it. But I think because he didn't, he'd already had it and we just didn't know. It's very possible he even brought it home to us, but he didn't know. So because he was sharing rides to work with his dad, and his dad also had it. So busy, busy girl you are. So everybody back to work in our house. And yeah, which is is good because we needed to have the money. It's hard. It's hard when unemployment is hardly paying you squat and there was no relief coming and we needed to pay bills. Oh, that was just a nice breeze that came through the window just now. I had some anxiety in the beginning when I was sick too, because I think part the anxiety came from me not knowing how bad it was going to get. So I was having anxiety from that. Once I kind of had an idea of how things were going to go, my anxiety kind of leveled off. You got a humidifier? That's good for when the air is dry for sure. And definitely in the winter is when the air will be drier. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze here soon. There's a tickle going on. A tickle. Anyway, an hour and 19 minutes. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah. Yeah, I can believe that. I believe it. Try not to let it worry you because worry worry doesn't change anything. It won't change any outcomes. So worry just makes you feel bad and doesn't change any situations that could happen. I mean, I know that's easier said than done, but give it a try. Even if it doesn't completely help, it can help a little. We've got the cutest dogs at work right now. We have a German Shepherd that I absolutely love. She is the sweetest German Shepherd, you guys. I wish I could have her. I wish I could have her. She's shy. She loves people, but she's shy at the same time. So whenever she comes up to somebody, first off for attention, she'll crouch down and she pees. She has that submissive pee. And so every time I go to pick her up or to pet her, she piddles. So whenever somebody wants to see her, I said, just so you know, she is a submissive peer. So as soon as you go to touch her, she's gonna, crouch down and she's gonna piddle. That's just what she does. I love her. Her name is Diamond, and I just love her. Love her, love her. Yes, don't worry, be happy. Don't be scared of the outcome. Be positive. Positive vibes are always being positive can help your health. Um, Anxiety can actually, make it worse. You don't have cancer. You have a virus, and a virus, um, you'll get over a virus. And cancer doesn't always result in death either. I have a friend who has had cancer 5 times, and she's still alive and going. She's still fighting. She's cancer free right now. But she's a 5 time cancer survivor. So don't don't create things to be scared of. If you haven't been diagnosed with cancer, don't be afraid of having it. Were you I know that, Barry, but have you been diagnosed with brain cancer? If you haven't, don't be afraid of it. I have people who are, this friend of mine, yeah, she's a 5 time cancer survivor. I have known people who have passed from cancer. My uncle passed from cancer. My grandfather passed from cancer. Um, my childhood pastor from church, his wife passed from cancer. Right now, that person, the wife of that pastor, her sister has cancer and she's battling that right now. You know, there's definitely people out there battling it. But with the proper treatments, caught early, aggressive treatments, things like that, it can be put in remission. And that's happened 5 times for this one friend of mine. If you haven't been diagnosed, you don't need to be scared of it. What makes you think you have brain cancer? You don't want to don't live in fear of what could be, because if you live in fear, you can't live life to its fullest. Don't be afraid of what hasn't happened. Your Barry, your life could be cut short by walking out and getting hit by a car. That sounds bad, but any anything can happen to any of us anytime. Life is not guaranteed. A long life is not guaranteed. Something can happen tomorrow. I can walk out of here. I can walk out of here today to go to work and be in a car accident. But, and then I could go to the mall to buy something or go to Walmart and buy something and there could be a shooting. There was a shooting, or not a shooting, but our mall, there was an uproar a few weeks ago because somebody was in the mall with a gun and there were cops and everything like that. Your life could be cut short just like that, and it won't. And it chances are won't have anything to do with brain cancer. You can't live your life in fear like that of what might happen, because You're taking away what could be a happy life by living in fear. Yes, definitely robbing yourself of living a happy life by living in fear of something that may never happen. Just, be cautious with, look both ways before crossing the street so you don't get hit by a car. Drive carefully, be alert of all the other idiots out on the road, you know, just be cautious, but don't live in fear. I mean, there are going to be times I have times of being worried about my health or, with the crazy state the world is in, there's going to be times when you're going to feel fear, but don't live in that. Don't be stuck in that. Weed helps too. Just don't be stuck in that fear. It's okay to feel fear it's okay to feel fear. That's how you know you're still alive. But you don't want to be stuck in that. You don't want to let that define you. Yes, I agree, Fo. And how are you? I don't know if I actually said hello. Same, same, same. I had an anxiety attack. Yep. But yeah, I try not to. There are things that scare me, of course. Everybody is scared of something, but you have to choose to not let it control you. Don't let that fear control you. Just like how you don't want to let anger control you. You don't want to let sadness control you. Um, that's like I suffer from depression and anxiety, and that depression can really put a damper on how I live my life. I could be holed up in my room and not want to go anywhere. Um, I have to force myself, and you don't want those feelings to control your life. So, and have you got me a vacuum cleaner? Cool. What are they trying to say? You need to clean your house, girl. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna game later? I haven't played games in so long. Thank you. I got it as a gift from my mother. It is like pottery, handmade, um, from this person that this is what she does. She makes these things. So her name is etched in the bottom. I can't remember exactly what it is, but they're expensive. I actually need a better, newer and better vacuum cleaner myself. But yeah, I like it too. I wish that this here, I wish I could see this, but since I'm right-handed, it faces out. But you guys can see it. But it's just plain on the other side that I'm looking at because I don't hold my mug like this. I hold my mug like this. So, and it holds a lot of coffee. Like I would drink a certain amount of coffee in other mugs and I'd be like, cool, I'm drinking enough coffee, a whole mug, that's good. pour the same amount in here, and I'm like, boy, I've been shorting myself. It doesn't fill up the mug. I gotta put more. You have a shark. See, we got this little vacuum cleaner. I can't remember what it is, but it says that it doesn't clog. It won't clog. Unclog, not cloggable. We're always forever unclogging it. I'm like, what happened to this vacuum cleaner does not clog? Because it seems like after you run it, you have to unclog it before you can use it again because it clogs. We had to pull it all apart and get things out that were got stuck in the uncloggable my butt. So sounds like a Chinese product. I don't know. I swear that it's a shark. Maybe it isn't. I thought it was a shark as well. And I was like, maybe I just have like a unique house that just has cloggable stuff on that I'm vacuuming up. I don't know. I mean, we do have hay in the house and I won't vacuum that up because I know wait, I have a shop vac for that or sweep that up. But for some reason, just running over the carpet. I mean, we don't have really carpet downstairs anymore. We have carpet up here, but we're going to pull that out. But just vacuuming the carpet that we did have down there, I was forever trying to unclog that thing. Nice. I think we've had ours for about as long, and I forever like saying to my husband, "Can you unclog this for me?" Because I've been like trying to do it myself, and then try and run it, and it's not sucking very well, and I'm like, for heaven's sakes, this uncloggable machine is forever clogged. So I just need a new one. I just need a new one. Anyway, I should probably wrap it up because now I've been on for an hour and a half. I have to let the dog out, feed her, feed myself, and I have to leave for work in an hour. So feed the dogs, feed the other animals, make sure everybody's got water since it's hot up here. Um, and get ready for work. I'm already dressed, but yeah, gotta gotta prepare for um, leaving, make sure all the animals are taken care of before I go to work and take care of those animals. But hope everybody has a great day. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. And if I don't talk to you before New Year's, have a very happy New Year. And yeah, I will try and get back on here another time here soon to keep in touch for sure. So hope you all have a wonderful day. And I will talk with you later, guys.